Thank you. Thank you very much. Boy, it's a lot of people. So this was the scene of my first major speech right after I announced that I was running for president. And it was a tremendous scene. I think we're beating it today. We had 15,000. We have more than 15,000. And we have a lot of people pouring in. Should we wait for them? Should we wait? No. We're not waiting. The silent majority is back. In 10 days, we are going to win the state of Arizona, and we are going to win back the White House. We are. Oh, we are. A Trump administration will immediately repeal and replace the disaster known as Obamacare. It's just been announced that the citizens of Arizona are going to experience, congratulations, a 116% increase in their Obamacare premiums. Don't feel bad, you won't be the highest in the country. Is that amazing? 116, and it doesn't work. Elect me and we will stop the premium hikes for good. We will stop the madness of Obamacare. It will be repealed and replaced. Believe me. I'd love to have those cameras turn over here and just show those people. They don't understand. They don't understand. It would be so good for their television ratings. They don't understand it. They keep it right here, and this very nice but small group of people behind me. They don't have great seats. They don't have great seats, but tomorrow they'll be famous, okay? Oh, I wish the cameras would turn these cameras. People don't have any idea what's going on, do they? Huh? They know. But they know. They are the most dishonest, corrupt people. They are the most dishonest people. They are the most dishonest people. The only time they turn is when they have a protester. And now we learned out through WikiLeaks that Hillary Clinton was paying the protesters $1,500 each to be violent at our rallies. We just learned that last week. WikiLeaks. Every single one of Arizona's 15 counties is losing insurers next year because of Obamacare. In Phoenix, there are 8 Obamacare insurers, okay? Gone. Good luck. By the way, have a lot of fun negotiating. There's nobody to negotiate with. Next year, you'll have one group to negotiate with. I'd like to be that one group. That one group is going to do very well, but you're not going to do very well. But you're going to do very well if I get elected, because we're getting rid of Obamacare and we're going to have an alternative that's cheaper and better. It was announced this week that Obamacare premiums in Phoenix will go up 145%. 145%. You know the worst part? It's no good. It's no good. It's not like it's great. It's no good. One insurer in the state will have a $14,000 deductible. In other words, you've got to use $14,000 worth of care before they start giving you anything. Sounds like a good idea? No. Folks, we're going to have so many options. We're going to have so many great plans. We're going to have plans that you don't even know what. There's going to be so much competition. We're going to get rid of the borders. We're going to get rid of the lines, the artificial lines that are put there to make the insurance companies rich. so they have no competition. You're going to have so much competition for your business, and you're going to have great health care, and it's going to be at a tiny fraction of what you're paying right now. So just remember, Obamacare is that correct? Obamacare is a catastrophe for Arizona, and it's a catastrophe for the United States of America, and we're going to get rid of it. Even Bill Clinton admitted Obamacare is the craziest thing in the world, where people wind up with premiums doubled and their coverage cut in half. He's right, but it's actually much worse than that. In Minnesota, where the premium increase will be close to 60%, the Democratic governor, who's a real party stalwart, said the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. That's in Minnesota, a state which we could actually win. We can win Minnesota. And by the way, we're winning Arizona big. You've seen the recent polls. And I want to thank Governor Brewer for being here. Where is she? She's around here someplace. And what a job, that young, beautiful woman. What a job you did. And folks, he's a good man. He was one of the first endorsers of Donald Trump. Vote for Sheriff Joe. Stand up. Stand up, Joe. They don't love tough people in this country anymore that know how to do their job, and fair people. He's tough, he's fair, and I hope he gets reelected, and he should. Go out and make sure he gets reelected, everybody. There's some bad undercurrents out there, folks. Jonathan Gruber, the architect of Obamacare, remember, from MIT. My Uncle John was a great professor at MIT for a long time. Unfortunately, I liked him a lot better than Jonathan Gruber. But Jonathan Gruber admitted it was all a fraud. And he said, outrageously, that it was passed because the stupidity of the American voter is unbelievable. We're going to show him on November 8th that November 8th. We're going to show him on November 8th. The American voter has had it. They've had it. Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. In fact, much more expensive than it is right now. You know, when people ask me about the crowds, they never show the crowds, but they say, you know, it sounds like an Ohio State football game, actually. Sure sounds big. You can actually tell a crowd by the sound. You can't imitate that sound. You know, when Hillary Clinton got up, I watched her today. Oh. And she had very few people, and she walked onto the stage. Now, I always do this, and today I didn't. Because I walk on, usually I'm always surprised by how many people. Look at it, look, goes all the way into the corners. Look at that. This incredible room, all the way into the corners. But when she came on today, she looked at a small group of people. She goes, wow, wow, wow. That's what I do. She's copied me. And I don't do it anymore because she's copied me. I'm always like surprised. I go, wow. And she went, wow, and there were very few people. My contract with the American voter outlines a plan to repeal and replace Obamacare, and I'm asking for your vote so we can save health care for every family in Arizona. Real change also means getting rid of the corruption in Washington, D.C. Drain that swamp. As you've heard, it was just announced yesterday that the FBI is reopening their investigation into the criminal conduct and the illegal conduct of Hillary Clinton. This is the biggest political scandal since Watergate. And it's everybody's deepest hope that justice, at last, will be beautifully delivered. Hillary has nobody but herself to blame for her mounting legal difficulties. Her criminal action was willful, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. Hillary set up an illegal server for the obvious purpose of shielding her criminal conduct from public disclosure and exposure. She set up this illegal server knowing full well that her actions put our national security at risk and put the safety and security of your children and your families at risk. But she didn't care. As long as she and Bill got the money, the safety of your family made absolutely no difference to her. To cover up her crimes, she bleached something that even sophisticated people know nothing about, partially because it's so expensive. She bleached and deleted 33,000 emails after receiving a congressional subpoena, made 13 phones disappear, some with a hammer, lied to Congress under oath many times, lied to the FBI many times, and then recently, 2 boxes of email evidence went mysteriously missing. Although they might have found a lot of those emails over the last couple of days, folks. It's looking like it. A lot of emails, a lot of trickery. The WikiLeaks revelations have exposed criminal corruption at the highest levels of our government. Hillary put the office of Secretary of State up for sale. Look at what's happened. And if she ever got the chance, she would put the Oval Office up for sale also. She'd put it up to sale for the special interests and the foreign dictators, whoever offers the right price, and usually that's the highest price. Yet, now it's reported that the Department of Justice is fighting with the FBI. That's because the Department of Justice is trying their hardest to protect the criminal activity of Hillary Clinton. What has our country come to? 97% of the Department of Justice employees, all of their presidential contributions, just about 97% went to Hillary Clinton. I don't think they like me. There are those, and I happen to be one of them, who think Hillary offered Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, a reappointment as Attorney General if Hillary were to become president. We don't want that to happen. A lot of people feel that way, right? Right? Perhaps that was what Bill Clinton was arranging when he met with Attorney General Lynch on her airplane on the tarmac on a very, very warm day right here in Arizona. The meeting lasted 39 minutes. And it was just a coincidence. You know, he was here to play golf. I hate to tell you, it was about 109 degrees that day. We all love Arizona, but I have so many friends. I'm here so much. When it gets to a certain temperature, we just sort of say, let's stay inside today. Right? It's 109. It was a very hot day. It's a very hot day. But he just happened to see her. Did you see that? Oh, there's the Attorney General's plane riding down the runway. Oh, I'm out playing golf. Oh, there's the Attorney General. Hey, let me hop on. I've had a plane for a long time. Never once has anybody entered my plane by saying, hey, can I come onto the plane from the tarmac while the plane's moving along? So they spent 39 minutes talking about golf and their grandchildren. So I give golf 2 minutes, I give the grandchildren 3 or 4 minutes. And the rest of the time, perhaps, was discussing the fact that the Attorney General was going to make a decision right after that about Hillary Clinton. So what's happened to the Justice Department? What's happened? What's happened? This is what I mean when I say that our system is rigged. Our system's rigged, folks. And be careful with your votes. Be careful with your votes and watch your votes. A vote for Hillary is a vote to surrender our government to public corruption, graft, cronyism that threatens the survival of our Constitution itself. What makes us exceptional is that we are a nation of laws and that we are all equal under those laws. Hillary's corruption shreds the principle of which our nation was founded. So sad. Government corruption spreads outward like a cancer, infecting the whole operation of our government. And I have to tell you, I respect the fact that Director Comey was able to come back after what he did. I respect that very much. And when the other side is complaining and complaining and complaining, there was no reason for it, because all of the crimes that were committed, something should have happened then, not now. And just to break it down, there are many, but when you delete 33,000 emails after getting a subpoena, that's it. It's over. It's over. It's over. And I will tell you, without knowing anything, the only reason that they did this action that you saw yesterday was very, very serious things must be happening and must have been found. Very, very serious things. Very, very serious things. And you could also ask, when they complain on the other side, why wasn't this evidence given previously? Why wasn't given previously? And when you talk about instincts, I don't know if anybody saw my comments on Anthony Weiner. It's called instinct, folks. I had no idea it was going to be that accurate. Boy, that was right on the note. When the outcome is fixed, when the system is rigged, people lose hope. They stop dreaming. They stop trying. When the powerful can get away with anything because they have the money and the connections to rig the system, then people lose confidence in our laws and confidence in their futures. Hillary Clinton's corruption is corrosive to the soul of our nation, and it must be stopped. It must be stopped. And one of the reasons I've been saying that the system is so corrupt and it's so rigged is not only what happens at the voters' booth, and you know things happen, folks. I watched Obama the other day saying, oh, but this is the foundation of the system. How can he say it? And yet 8 years ago, he's on a clip talking about Chicago and essentially how the voting is rigged in Chicago. You know, give me a break. Take a look at it. 8 years ago, it's all over the place. But one of the reasons I say it's rigged is because Hillary Clinton, nothing to do with what was found recently, Hillary Clinton should never, ever, based on everything that took place, be allowed to run for the presidency of the United States. She shouldn't be allowed. She should have been disqualified a long time ago. And when you read the nasty WikiLeaks, the horrible things said about Catholics, and the horrible things said about evangelicals, and the horrible things said about Bernie Sanders, what they said about Bernie Sanders. I mean, say what you want. What they said about Bernie Sanders is rather incredible. And then they have their superdelegates, and they had all of the people stacked against him. He never had a chance, folks. And you know what? The worst thing he did was backing her, because he would have gone down as a great figure in political history in this country. But once he did that, he sold his soul to the devil. But we'll take the Bernie Sanders voters because my trade policies are much tougher and much stronger and much better than his. And we're going to have a lot of trade, but it's going to be a two-way highway, not a one-way road out, believe me. As FDR once said, government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by organized mob. It's true. True. So true. Hillary believes money and power, not truth and justice, should rule the day. We have one ultimate check on Hillary's corruption, and that is the power of voting, November 8th. So the only way we're going to beat the corruption is to show up and vote by the tens of millions, including millions of people voting for the first time in their entire lives. Vote with all your heart and soul, because we are going to make America great again. Okay, just remember that. We are. Restoring honesty to our government and the rule of law to our society will be a very, very high priority of my presidency. Haven't we had enough drama with the Clintons? Bill Clinton was impeached for lying and obstructing justice, signed the worst trade deal in history, NAFTA, which emptied our country of its manufacturing jobs. And he doesn't even have the right anymore because of what he did to practice law. Hillary has brought scandal or destroyed virtually everything she's touched. Look at Whitewater. Look at the cattle futures. Look at jobs in upstate New York, a disaster. Or look at Syria, Iraq, Libya. And now, look at the mess she's in with these emails. And that'll last for years. You think that's going away? That'll be there for years. She'll be fighting it. This will be the year the American people say, enough is enough. This will be the year the American people break with the bitter failures of the past and embrace a new and really optimistic future. We have such potential. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to end government corruption. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear and heed the words we, not me, we are about to say. When we win on November 8th, we are going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp. You know, when I first heard that term, I hated it. I said, oh, that's so hokey. That is so hokey. But I said, look, let's give it a shot. I tried it. The place went crazy. Then I said, maybe we'll try it again. The place went crazy. And now I like it. You know, great singers, a lot of great artists, great singers, Frank Sinatra. So Frank Sinatra didn't like My Way when he first sang it. And then he noticed the audience liked it a lot. And then it went out, became #1 like Big. And all of a sudden he started to love that song, My Way, right? So drain the swamp. At the core of my contract is my plan to bring back our jobs that have been stolen from us. Right now, 70 million American women and children live in poverty or near the brink of poverty. America has lost 1/3 of its manufacturing jobs since Bill and Hillary's NAFTA. 1/3. America has lost, listen to this, because it's not even a number. Honestly, I thought it was a typo. I thought it was 700 factories or 7,000. America has lost 70,000 factories since China entered the World Trade Organization. And I'm very close to China. I've done great deals with China. They're tenants and buildings of mine in New York. China's wonderful. I'm not angry at China. I'm angry at our people for allowing them to get away with it. I have the biggest bank in the world, a Chinese bank, far bigger than any other bank, a tenant of mine. I sell them condos. I own a building in San Francisco, a big building in New York because of China. China's wonderful, but they're getting away with murder. Mexico's getting away with murder. Their people are smarter than our leaders. Their leaders are smarter. They're more cunning. They're more streetwise. Something's different. But we're going to stop it. Don't worry, we're building the wall. Don't worry. We are living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. That's what's happened. This is the single greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. There's never been NAFTA. One-way street out. One-way street out. You know, I always say, they get the jobs, they get the factories and plants, right? They get the money. We get, what do we get? We get the drugs, we get the unemployment. We get the drugs, the unemployment. Hillary's goal is to send millions and millions more jobs out of our country because that's what her special interests want. I'll have over $100 million invested in the campaign. My money, okay? If I don't pull this off, I'm going to feel very foolish. But you know what? It's money I don't take from special interests and lobbyists and donors. And we've had tremendous success with the small donors, $61 a head. No Republican has ever come close. We've raised millions and millions of dollars in campaign contributions from small donors, people that put up $61. And no Republican's ever done that. Very few people have ever done it. But it's been beautiful to watch. They love our country. I love our country. That's why I'm doing it. And again, remember, I had a good time on the other side. You know, when you talk about insider, outsider, I was on the other side for a long time. I did very well on the other side. But I also love our country. And I see what was happening. And we were going in such a wrong direction. We weren't going to have a country left anymore. Between an Iran deal, where we give them back $150 billion, how about we give them $1.7 billion in cash? Remember, we thought it was $400 million, right? Remember, it was $400 million. You know what that is? That's this stage. No, much bigger. Triple it. Going up to the ceiling. That's what cash is, $400 million. And we were wrong. It wasn't $400 million. It was $1.7 billion in cash. Airplane loads. And then Obama said it had nothing to do with the hostages, but it did. The hostages wouldn't be released until this cash came. $1.7 billion, and they wouldn't release the hostages until they got the cash. And then they humiliated us. See, everybody forgets. I never forget. Never forget. Then they humiliated us with the 10 sailors, right? And they would have kept them forever. Not if I'm president. But they would have kept them forever, except that the cash, the $150 billion, was to be paid 2 days from the time of their capture. So instead of saying, hey, folks, you're in a little bit the wrong water, like, could you move over here, right? You know, hey, get out of here. They captured them, brought them to their knees, humiliated those 10 people. For the rest of their lives, they're humiliated, and humiliated the United States of America after they made one of the great deals ever. And then they ride around and they, you know, do things around our boats. They circle us. Oh, they wouldn't be doing that. And then they take their fighter jets and they ride very, very close. They do all sorts of things. No. It's, you know, it's amazing. We gave them everything. And now, instead of thanking us, they feel emboldened. They feel emboldened. So, you watch. We're going to be very, very careful. We have to be very careful. You know, signing nuclear deals is a good thing, not a bad thing. But Kerry never walked. They won every single point. They got everything. This is worse than if we had no deal. The worst deals are the kind that are worse than if you had no deal. So with all of the things, with all of the stupidity that I see, how about where they capture, they're going to deport 800 people. And these are tough ones. These are tough people. And they made a little mistake. So they were going to deport them. You know what I'm talking about. They became, sorry, United States citizen. Welcome aboard. So the 800 people, it's like the money. Instead of $400 million, it was 1.7. It's always worse. It's never better. So the 800 people, instead of being deported, they pressed the wrong button. You know what the wrong button is? This. The wrong button is somebody got cash. That's what I think. Okay? Now, of course, how would I know a thing like that? They'll criticize me. They'll say, that is a terrible thing. Just like they said, how can Donald Trump complain about voter fraud? There's no voter fraud that goes on. Really? Watch, be careful, watch. So the 800 people, instead of being deported, what happened? Congratulations, they are now citizens of the United States. These are rough citizens. But we made a mistake there, too. Instead of 800 people, it turned out to be 1,800 people. Our country doesn't win anymore. We don't win with ISIS. We don't win with trade. We don't win with borders. We're going to start winning again, folks. If you elect me, I'm doing this for you, believe me. Hillary is going to raise taxes up to 45%, massively expand regulation, shut down American energy, which is a disaster, and push through terrible trade deals that offshore our jobs to the benefit of her donors and special interests. Her policies, in my opinion, will cause major, major recession and maybe even depression. A Trump administration will stop Trans-Pacific Partnership, a horror show. Really bad deal. That's a really bad deal. We're going to renegotiate NAFTA, and if we're not going to stand up, I'll tell you what. Again, China, we're going to have a good relationship with China. I have a great relationship with China. But we are going to stand up to China on its massive currency manipulation, because they're beating our companies because of currency manipulation. We're going to lower taxes on American business from 35% to 15%. We're going to cut taxes for middle-class families by hundreds of billions of dollars. My infrastructure plan will provide help for projects like the proposed Interstate 11. Do you know what that is? Which would connect Phoenix with Las Vegas and other areas. Everybody wants it. It's time we have something new. You ever notice we don't build bridges anymore? We don't build tunnels anymore. You go to China, they have bridges all over the place, tunnels. We don't build anymore. And we don't make anything anymore, relatively speaking. Everything comes in from lots of different countries. We will also unleash the full power of American energy, including shale, oil, natural gas, and clean coal. We'll put our miners back to work, folks. We're going to put our miners back to work. We will become a rich nation once again. But to be a rich nation, we must also be a safe nation. A Trump administration will secure and defend the borders of the United States, and yes, we will build a wall. I'm very proud to say that we have the endorsement of America's ICE. ICE, you know what ICE is? These are tough, strong, good people. And also 16,500, all of them, the Border Patrol officers. The first time they have ever made an endorsement for a president of the United States. First time they've ever done it. When Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she allowed thousands of the most dangerous criminal aliens in the world to go free inside America because their home countries wouldn't take them back. So we would catch these killers, these drug lords, these gang members. We'd bring them back to their country, and very intelligently their country would say, we don't want them. We don't want them. We're not taking them back. So they'd call the Secretary of State. She'd say, oh, they don't want them back. Oh, bring them back. And that's why we have a lot of problems. We take them back, and we have people begging us not to take them back. And I guarantee you, as president, there won't be one instance, not one instance, where we take them back. Not one. These were people guilty of murder, assault, rape, and all manner of violent crime. Countless Americans are killed by illegal immigrants because our government won't do its job. These include amazing Americans, and you saw that incredible friend of mine who just spoke incredibly, by the way. The pain that so many people are going through. Remembrance Project, incredible people. Americans like Sergeant Brandon Mendoza of Mesa, Arizona, who was killed by an illegal immigrant with a criminal record a mile long, who should have been deported. Everybody wanted him deported. People begged that he be deported. But the government under Obama refused to act. Killed. I've spent time with his unbelievable mother, and they're devastated. Your life can never be the same. 28-year-old park ranger Chris Eggle was shot and killed by a drug cartel hit squad responsible for a number of murders all over Mexico. Chris died trying to protect our borders from drug and weapon trafficking into the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. They were all over the place, and he died, violently died. 33-year-old Phoenix police officer Eric Erfel, a young cancer survivor, was murdered by a previously deported illegal immigrant with felony warrants and with a record so long you wouldn't believe it. How do these people get into our country? Nick was shot twice. Nick was shot twice in the back of the head. 21-year-old Grant Ronebeck, whose father's here someplace. Where is his father? You are fantastic. You are fantastic. Grant was working at a convenience store in Mesa, Arizona, when he was shot point blank by an illegal immigrant. His illegal immigrant killer, despite a tremendously horrible criminal record, was out on, and right now, was out on bond and roams free. When I become president, you can count on this. When I become president, this crime wave, this needless, senseless crime wave will end, and it'll end immediately. We are going to cancel all federal funding for sanctuary cities. We are going to impose tough prison sentences for illegal immigrants who return after a previous deportation. In other words, we get them out, they come right back. We get them out. Look at Kate Steinle, San Francisco. He came back 5 times. So we get them out. They come back. We say, listen, do it again, you're going 5 years. Do it again, after that, you're going 10 years. You know what's going to happen? They're not coming back anymore, folks. Not complicated. We will end illegal immigration, deport every last criminal alien, and save American lives, and we'll do it quickly. We will also repeal the Obama-Clinton defense sequester and rebuild our badly depleted military. We have tremendous military support, unbelievable military support. And having, as you know, General Flynn here and having so many of the generals at our side. In fact, we have, where is General Flynn? He's around here someplace. Incredible guy. General Kellogg, we have such incredible people. We have, in fact, the endorsement of over 200 admirals and generals and 22 Medal of Honor recipients. Our Air Force is the smallest and oldest it has ever been, and my plan builds the modern, advanced fighter aircraft we need. Fighters like those that will be stationed at Luke Air Force Base. Right? Luke. You ever see our fighters are so old that they don't even make parts for them anymore? You've seen it. You've seen the documentaries. They're all over the place. They have to go to the plane graveyards and to museums, old airplane museums, to get parts. This is what our great people are flying in. Our Army is the smallest, that's right, but we give beautiful new stuff to people we hardly even know. That's right. We're really run by a bunch of geniuses. Our army is the smallest it's ever been since World War II. And we will significantly increase both the size of our army and the emphasis we place on intelligence. You know, you see what's going on, and I'm all for I want everything to be done properly. But you see in Mosul, I've been reading about Mosul for 4 months. For 4 months, I'm reading about Mosul. We're going to be attacking Mosul in 4 months. We're going to be attacking it in 3 months. And we're going to take the leaders of ISIL. Oh, did I say ISIL? ISIS. ISIS. I don't like saying ISIL. We're going to take, I don't like saying ISIL. We're going to take the leaders of ISIS, and we're going to get them. We're going to capture them. No. But you can't capture them because they know you're going in, right? So how do you capture them? Because about 2 minutes after they hear you're going into Mosul, they're gone. Whatever happened to the element of surprise, folks? And now, as you know, Mosul's tough. Those leaders are gone. They're someplace else. You go in, you do the job, you have the press conference a week later, not 4 months before. I wonder what the great General Douglas MacArthur, I wonder what the great generals of our country in the past, our past generals, would think when they see what's going on. When they see ISIS using human shields, killing people. This is like medieval times. But you don't talk. You get it done. We don't want to talk. You get it done. We're going in. Here's Obama. We're going in 4 months to Mosul. Oh, I don't want to hear it. Don't, please. We're going in 3 months. 2 months. We're preparing. 1 month. That's right. He said red lines. We're drawing a red line. Oh, what a group. We have a president who is essentially incompetent. I'm telling you. Incompetent. And why is he always campaigning with Hillary Clinton? Why isn't he working on jobs? Why isn't he working for the vets on straightening out that? Because the Veterans Administration is a shame and a disaster. Why isn't he doing these other things? So he's always campaigning for Hillary. Hey, here's my question. Under the circumstances with what the FBI just announced, will he continue to campaign? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. But we want to support the men and women at Fort Wakuka, right? Do you know what the fort is? Wakuka. Home of the Army's Intelligence Center. Places like Marine Corps Air Station, Yuma, will have new aircraft. They won't have to get spare parts from those museums anymore. We also need a new policy that puts America first. We don't put America first, folks. It's almost like we have leaders that say, we're negotiating with countries. We want to make sure they come out well. Us, don't worry about us. But they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it because people take care of them very well. Hillary's policies unleashed ISIS, empowered Iran, and spread death and destruction across the Middle East. Hillary and our failed Washington establishment have spent $6 trillion on wars in the Middle East, and now it's in worse shape than it was before we started. I mean, the Middle East is in far worse shape now. Our failed establishment has betrayed the American worker and the American family. They've dragged us into foreign wars that have made us less safe, and they've left our borders wide open at home. And they've shipped our jobs and our wealth away to other countries, which we're stopping immediately. When we lose our companies out of Arizona and so many other states, essentially all states, they move to Mexico. Take the example of Carrier Air Conditioning. Indianapolis, Indiana, great place. By the way, how good is Mike Pence? Is Mike Pence good? Okay. Governor of Indiana. What a great job he's done. What a great job Mike has done. That was a good choice. See, that's good instinct. That's good judgment. Bernie Sanders said Hillary has bad judgment. And Podesta, you know, I don't know this guy Podesta. Whoever the hell he is, I would fire him so fast. He says nothing. No. He says nothing but bad things about crooked Hillary. That's all he says. The guy says nothing but bad things. He says nothing but bad. He has a memo. She has bad instincts. How would you, if somebody said that about me, even if it were true, I'd fire him. I'd fire him. Unbelievable. No, I really, the way he talks and the way other people talk about her. I mean, this WikiLeaks is fascinating. But they say so many bad things, but let's leave her alone. She's home now sleeping. Let's let her sleep. To all Americans, I say it is now time for powerful leadership. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of our presidency. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan, actually a little bit bigger. And Hillary wants to raise your taxes substantially. She wants to raise your taxes, which is pretty hard to believe, considering we're the highest tax nation in the world. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. We'll cancel every illegal Obama executive order. We're going to stop the massive inflow of refugees and keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. We're going to rebuild our depleted military and take care of our great, great veterans. We're going to take care of, for once and for all, we're going to take care of our veterans. We will reduce surging crime and support the incredible men and women of law enforcement. And I don't know, you know, this dishonest media, the world's most dishonest people. Terrible people. You can have 100% home run and they'll make it look bad. They make it look bad. They're bad people. But I'll tell you, they don't tell you this. So the murder rate in the United States, it's the worst, the highest it's been in 45 years. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. We're going to provide school choice and put an end to Common Core. We're going to bring our education up. I was endorsed by the National Rifle Association, the NRA, great people. We are going to save our Second Amendment, which is under siege. And appoint justices of the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Americans are tired of being told by politicians that they have to defer their dreams to another day, but they really mean another decade. That's what they mean. They don't mean another day. They mean decades and decades away. Hillary has been there for 30 years, and she's accomplished nothing, just made things worse. She's the candidate of yesterday. We are a movement of the future. This is a movement, folks. This is a movement. This is a movement like our country has never seen before. And we are driving these characters crazy. They don't know. They are not happy. Our movement represents all Americans, thank you, from all backgrounds and all walks of life. We're asking for the votes of Republicans, Democrats, independents, and first-time voters, and there's going to be a lot of them, believe me. We're fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. We are fighting to unlock the tremendous potential of every American community and every American family who yearn for a better future, a much better future. With your vote, we are just 10 days away from the change you've been waiting for your entire life. I will never let you down, I promise you that. I will never, ever let you down. We are a divided nation. We will not be divided any longer. We will be a nation that's powerful and strong, but a nation with love. Together, we will make America just again, just. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. We will make America wealthy again. And we will make America great again. God bless you, everybody. Get out and vote. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Arizona.